Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So this was a Patreon exclusive that we did yesterday. Hard-hitting, hard-hitting to say the least. Again, we are in interesting times, and also times that are definitely going to try us in more than one way in our level of preparedness. So as always, be prepared out there.
Yes, I mean it's an ongoing, it's a life change, but if you start making the changes now, it's not a huge interruption.
Yeah, it's just getting used to doing things differently and just being ready. And sometimes you could over prepare. I've done that. I've absolutely done that when it comes to certain things and checking foods, rotating, your shelves, things like that. View it as a store, I guess you could say, your own personal store. Now this is a 6.9, or what they're saying is a 6.9. Also a 6.1 over in Tonga. This is an area that does get some of the biggest quakes that we see. These are 106 kilometers deep, so we may have more coming after this. Again, this is an area where you'll see big ones. An area that you don't always see big ones, but is close to a plate boundary, is over here off the coast of Portugal, 5.4. That's notable. So keep our eyes out over there for any sort of quake activity. Many of you guys have probably seen Lou Elizondo before, former Pentagon official that has made the circuit, talked about UFOs, UAPs, the fact that the Pentagon has hundreds and hundreds of videos of UFOs that have not been released to the public, and the big revelations that there are so many ships that have been retrieved and have been studied, and this is all part of the disclosure. 45 was saying that there's a lot of things that he's going to reveal when he gets back in there and becomes 47. And exactly this is the type of thing that many people are assuming he means by that, sharing more detail on what's really going on with all these apparently crashed UFOs that have been taken by the government to be analyzed, or whatever else they do with them. Now, this may be somebody's bizarre attempt at an interesting house, or this could be maybe another crashed UFO. This is in the mountains of New Mexico at 7,400 feet, which is exactly where we were living at in New Mexico. As you can see, it's actually not too far from where we were, and we've made our way through these areas. You can still find this on Google Earth as of this morning. These are the coordinates. It's a very curious thing, because it really does look like if it was coming in from the east or slightly northeasterly direction, this part right here maybe buried in there. Is it a UFO? Well, it's unidentified to me at the moment, and interestingly enough, nobody in the comments that I saw. Oh boy, here we go. Let's hope they refresh the page. Nobody in the comments that I saw had any explanation for it. And one person did say that there was a tag that showed property of some school system. But, what is up with this? You can see this very circular.
School system, where I don't know, maybe it is, but where's the bus? Where's the road that leads to it? Where's the other parked cars? I think if you zoom out, there's absolutely nothing for I don't know how many miles. So there's a faded road looking like it kind of goes up to it.
Yeah, there's
but it's and then there's this one here. And but those could be anything, but I don't know how many hundreds of miles. I don't think it's a school system. I don't know. I've been wrong before, but I have a hunch.
This is not a very heavily populated area. So where is this area? Well, if you look over here, you could see some small towns because, again, these are not big towns even. And, trying to get your reference to where we are. There's Magdalena, and here's Daddle. And we know this area pretty well, as we regularly would go down through Pie Town and Daddle, making our way over towards Springerville as we were living up here in Rama. Yes, we have a dog named Rama, and we were living in Rama before we had Rama. This was back when Zeke was with us. And we would go shopping often in Grants or up in Gallup. This area here has some really beautiful hiking, by the way. And so, this is down in the Cibola National Fortress, Quemado, Pie Town. Honestly, there are a lot of creepy vibes at certain spots through this area. But I do and did always feel that this could be a very good area to ride out these times. Now, obviously, there's a lot of illegal immigrants that have come across the border. We'd be very concerned with sleeper cells and the like. We do have a family member that is in the area down here, and interestingly enough, they said that the town, and we liked Springerville Eager, this new trio. So this whole area was one of our main targets for getting through the rough patches, as it felt like there's nothing big enough around there to be of any concern if there was a Red Dawn invasion, etc., etc. But at the same time, she shared that the food runs out now in the grocery store because there's so many people that weren't there before, illegal migrants, immigrants, and also a huge population that seems to be coming from China in the area as well. Oh, yeah. So, this is very, very curious to say the least. And I just wonder, what's going on with this. Now, it could be, I've seen some strange architecture out there. I have run into, in hikes through New Mexico, people doing all sorts of homes, things that were very artistic. You have so many people living off grid. It could be somebody's project. Or, is it just another UFO that has, buried itself in the New Mexican desert?
It's really certainly very curious. I wish we'd have known about this. We would be bold enough and crazy enough to try to walk up there and look at it. It's really interesting. I mean, it could be something somebody built and just abandoned. It could be. This one says but it's odd.
This one says that they think it's some sort of water storage tank. Again, you're going to have people that are going to pop in. And it is northwest of White Sands. Again, you always find interesting things around the military bases. And by the way, if you went over on this side, you see Alamogordo, and then we do see over to the east of the Air Force Base is the area that was burned and then had the flooding, where they lost like so many homes, Ruidoso. And so we have family members down in Ruidoso as well. So, is it some sort of partly covered concrete cistern?
Like the one we saw was covered up.
Yeah, again, this could be anything until we get on the ground and get there. And if we were still in Rama, we would definitely hightail it there. There is also, we did a video about the large array. You remember because that's not far from this. The large array is one of the biggest it's one of the biggest of its kind. It's basically a an assortment of different. They look like satellite dishes that are here, not too far from this area, really, just to the west of this, maybe slightly north. It is one of the largest lookout areas that the governments have that are openly acknowledged.
Yeah, it's really interesting that, you know, the large array is not too far from that as well, and all of this information about space and communicating with space, and you happen to see this big, you know, this big half circle. It looks like it's buried half in mud or something. But yeah, that large array is really quite fascinating. We went out there. I mean, you feel so little compared to those things.
We did, and this is what we're talking about, and this is located between Daddle and Magdalena. So this is right in that same area. Does it have any sort of connection to this? I don't know, but you know, the thing is, when I was standing out there and we were recording a video, which we published, I think it's on EEARTS. I should have probably checked that first, but this is just hitting me. This feels very odd. It feels really odd. I don't know how else to describe it. There's a disconcerting vibe over by it. Do you agree?
There is definitely a really strange vibe. It doesn't feel warm and fuzzy. It doesn't feel, oh, fun, let's communicate. It feels ominous when you're standing out there. There's this darkness to it that I can't explain, same as Mike. Like, I think it has to do with the intention behind it for what they say, what they put on a placard, and the true intention behind it is not a good one.
No, and again, that very large array is right down like in here. This perhaps is it. It's let's see if we could see it. There it is. So yeah, we've been here. We've stood outside right next to it, and there you could see a little disc. So here you can see a disc. Very round, just like that object. You know, curious. I really wonder if there's any sort of connection to it. You know, we've looked at places over in this area, Homestead, Daddle. Really, we're considering making our base in this area. And so, you know, I just find it very, very fascinating when we look at this object. Just as round as those dishes. I don't know. Was this some sort of dish that got abandoned? It's just curious. I just wanted to share that with you guys. This is in Scotland, so this is on the other side of the world there. And you can see, you know, the question is, what's up with the symbols? You know, what were they trying to tell us? Because, you know, these look, again, very round. You could take, I mean, were they saying, hey, we saw these ships, these perfectly round flying saucers going overhead, and maybe they're trying to depict windows in the ships or something, you know, or it could have nothing to do with that. Again, the purpose here baffles the experts. They assume it's religious, but they might be trying to tell you, man, you should have seen this big array of ships that went overhead. You never know. Again, this is dated to 3000 BC.
Well, there's the strangest kind of stones in the desert that have imprints on them, and we've done videos on that. You know, out in the middle of nowhere where there shouldn't be any type of a structure, you can see remnants of something on the stone. And then we do have pictures of stones where there's these really deep lines in them, like the stone had been heated up at one point and then these lines drawn through it. I mean, it's the darndest thing what you find out in that desert where you think no one's there. And then the other thing about the desert is the expense to move there. I mean, the expense to get a little piece of land with no water and no electricity and possibly no hope of any water is really insane. And if you're looking for something that's already, you know, on there, on the property and on the land, boy, it's pricey.
Yeah, and at the same time, we were gonna go stay in that particular area, and the only reason we didn't is because of the governor and the lockdown, because we were there for lockdown, and it was so neo-Nazi that we just couldn't take it, honestly, and so we headed to Texas. As you see here, we are walking on history. Look at this. I mean, look at these archways, and then more archways here, and then you see the bricks go on, and here we are. Wow. Expanding Earth, I do think Earth is expanding. I think, she's getting bigger, and also we've covered that in depth with the video that we did about the whole flat Earth phenomenon, and, what's really the shape of the Earth. The Earth is trying to grow into being Tiamat again, because the Earth it was Tiamat. And so the Earth is going to grow and expand and get bigger. And at the same time, we have this control system in place that washes the remnants of one civilization, one culture away. And it's buried asunder. All the dirt, but they were there. They were there living their lives like we are living our lives now, and they might be 50 feet under the surface. And what was the events that triggered all that? I have been sharing with you guys, reading the book, again, Giant Cities of Bashan, and it just, in one sense, it totally infuriates me. In another sense, it makes me very sad and depressed, because the author is very, very fundamentalist in mindset, and just simply talks about the destruction that obviously came upon these people over in Syria, in Lebanon, and they were obviously advanced in certain ways. Their buildings were constructed to really be much more durable than ours, and yet something took them out. It was something took them out and left their buildings standing, and then nonstop wars washed it all away and made it to be rubble. And all the person can say is, well, it just shows you how accurate the Bible is, and boy, God was really ticked at them. And it's understanding, again, that the system creates this mindset. It's that, and we're going to do a video, thanks to inspiration by John Levy from his video from yesterday for you guys, which was inspired by another channel which hasn't made a video in 5 years now. I hope that those people are okay, because they really showed something that the system doesn't want you to see, and yet it's very real. It's all very, very real, and here today, gone tomorrow. But what really happened to get to that point? That's the thing. What really happened? Well, turmeric. I hope you guys got plenty of turmeric. Turmeric is an amazing substance. It is truly a gold. With its ability to correct a lot of things that the system is doing to us and awaken that pineal gland. We will get today that video we've been meaning to do about what does it mean to have an activated light body, which absolutely means also that your pineal gland is actually functioning. Most people, it's not. And this is why most people are in the dark, and they can't understand things. You guys, I know, get it, because you do follow us, and you keep coming back because there's something here that is not being given out there in most places. There's some truth here that you really need to get to the bottom of. And really, it starts with having a functional pineal gland that actually is working.
Mm-hmm. It does. It starts, with how you take care of yourself, what the food that you eat, the things you put in your body, even the things that you expose yourself to on YouTube, on TikTok, on everything else. Everything that you do, it is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle when it comes to activation. And if you want to do something with that activation, if you want to integrate it into your life, there's ways to do that. But it's something that, if you love higher self is going to gift you back with these abilities, and we're all getting there. It just depends on like how far do you want to take it? To what degree do you want to use these abilities? And I like to talk about the practicality about it, because we live in a world where it's not practical to use your abilities. It's just not. People are going to look at you like you have 3 heads. But you know what? When you're at home and when you're with your pets and you're with your loved ones, it's a really beautiful way to interact with your family and your pets at home, because it's more of this sensing type feeling energy, and you can make it what you want. You really can. So that's beautiful. And I think our lives need to expand out. So even at our place of work, we should be able to use these abilities.
We need discernment. We really need the ability to discern. And, so many are still blindly walking completely with the flock, heading towards that cliff that leads to the burying of this civilization 30 feet under our feet, or the feet of whoever comes next.
Oh, and I love this. This is really cute. Spot the imposter. Don't know if I can, but he's a cute one.
As always, guys, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for being on this ride and journey with us. Much love as always. Come join us over on Patreon if you're so inclined. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.